Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have. Today on rSpace, we are reminded that we have always made it through our worst days before. Anyone can survive infidelity by just taking it one breath at a time. Up first, a marriage is burdened by addiction. What should I do? Found out 5 days ago my wife of 19 years has been unfaithful for the past few years. One of the persons was a former coworker who I know. He also has a significant other. We have been out with them to dinner. We've been over to their house. We've been to concerts together. We have been friendly, although I never really liked him. Should I tell the significant other about the affair? Our first comment from the community comes from Puzzlehead Okra 250. If the shoe was on the other foot, wouldn't you want to know? Administrative Ad 3880 says, 1. Do not move out of the house. Try to get her sorry butt out of there. Move into a spare bedroom and make it off limits to her. 2. Implement the Grey Rocker 180. Don't beg, cry, plead, cajole, or emote in front of her in any way. Act completely indifferent. Minimize interactions as much as possible. 3. Retain a lawyer ASAP. 4. By all means, tell the affair partner's significant other. She needs to know. And 5. Find something to distract yourself, a sport, hobby, etc., anything that gets you out of the house and minimizes time home with her. Do not have a revenge affair. The next comment from A. Ethan V. If you were her, would you want the information so you could make an informed decision about your relationship? The answer is yes. Also, why the heck should your wife's affair partner avoid consequences? I think it depends on how you found out, OP. If you have concrete evidence, I think it would be okay to share with the affair partner's wife, as long as you'd want to find out that way if the tables were turned. It might be traumatic for affair partner's wife to find out that way. That's not to take away that it wasn't traumatic for you to find out the way that you did. Let's get some background information. Update. First, some background. We've been together since we were 17 years old. We got married at 20 and it was great for a long time. At 35, I hit a low point with my drug addiction, but thanks to God, her, and my family, I went to rehab and dealt with my issues. She never fully got over that, however. She told me that she didn't feel the same anymore, that she didn't love me in the same way anymore, that she needed to be taken care of and feel secure, but she was going to stay for our family, we have 2 boys, and try to make it work. Instead of our relationships getting better, however, we have grown even more apart. I have been suspicious in the past, but never had a reason to not trust her. The past few months, she's been really distant, and I brought it up on June 15th. She told me she was thinking of a separation. Although our relationship was rocky, I thought, why now after I've been sober, gone back to school for my degree, got in shape, was mentally and spiritually in a better place? That's when I started monitoring her and found out of her current and past affairs. Recorded her in the act, which was traumatic, and in the same recording she talked of her previous affair, which is the one with a significant other. I talked to my soon-to-be ex-wife yesterday and told her she had to leave and keep praying for everything she was before. She agreed reluctantly. I contacted the affair partner's significant other today. She was very responsive and sorry that this was happening. She asked for some evidence, which I sent her. She asked a few questions and thanked me for telling her. I have a friend who works with the district attorney and asked if they could suggest any good divorce lawyers. They gave me 2 to contact. I will be contacting them tomorrow. Thanks to everyone who responded to my first post. I was surprised I got so many responses. I feel you all helped me do the right thing. Wow, it's definitely been a rocky road, and I'm so proud of you for getting to where you are today. Please don't let this be a reason to turn back to that old lifestyle. You are not the person you once were. You are so much stronger and wiser. That being said, just because your ex wasn't feeling the same for you anymore doesn't give her a right to cheat. There's no excuse for that. She should have been more honest with you about how she was feeling if she knew it wasn't going to be the same. Resentment is a heavy thing if it isn't dealt with. Given the challenges you both faced on your path to recovery, transparency and communication should have been the #1 priority. With that, we can't always stay on the path as our significant others when there's been a huge life-changing experience. Sometimes we do grow apart, but like I said, she should have separated with you prior to deciding to be with someone else. That's not fair to you and the work you've put into your personal growth. Would you have told the affair partner's significant other about the affair? Up next, a weekend dad. She's at her affair partner's for the first time tonight. Emotional affair equals physical affair. Hi guys, I work night shift. My wife has been having an emotional affair with the father of our daughter's best friend since October 21. She spent 9 months pretending to reconcile, continued contact. It's all the same as you've read before. Tonight is the first night she hasn't come home. I'm hurting more than I thought. We were mid-divorce mediation, and I was sort of hoping she would wait to escalate to a physical affair until it finalized. Out of the respect to the 16 years I have been there for her and our 2 young children. I don't know why I'm even posting. I'm at that very lost phase, and I know you all have been here. I'm trying to focus on my kids. She's going to hurt our kids. Nothing I have built in our lives has value anymore except them. I hope that I feel better when I see the kids again tomorrow afternoon. She took them to her parents' house tonight so that she could go do those extracurriculars. Edit. Thanks for helping me steal my resolve tonight. She did come slinking home after 1 a.m. on the Ring doorbell, but I know the reality of the situation, and I'm pretty sure that I can resist her efforts to use me as plan B when all this blows up in her face. I have a legal consultation Monday morning, and a second one in the works through my employer's EAP. I will not let her hurt the kids. She can be reckless with her life alone. Yeah, I'm so sorry, OP. The level of disrespect is real. She should have waited at the very least. In the moments like that, it feels all too real. It's like all the hope you had for anything to reconcile died in that moment. It's definitely a slap in the face to you and what the both of you have built. Update. Today I found out I am going to be a weekend dad. I would love for someone to tell me it gets better, even if I've read it 1,000 times. My wife has been having this affair since October of 2021. I found out about it, picked me dance a little, and then really focused on making myself a better and more attractive person. None of it worked. She is enamored with an a-hole. I'm not even being hyperbolic. He's a 41-year-old, had a sexual relationship with his son's 18-year-old girlfriend. We used an arbitrator to decide where they should go to school, and essentially primary custody. The decision came down today. I'm a weekend dad now. I'm crushed. I love my kids, daughter 9 and son 6. I love my life before this affair. I worked so hard to provide for her and the kids. I am an emergency dispatcher at an understaffed agency, and the stress of my job is ever present. I started therapy and even got on medication, but I feel so low right now. I thought I had a fighting chance to save them from being collateral damage as her fantasy falls apart, but I can't. $1,400 a month spousal support and $700 a month child support. 50% of my income. I have to move into my parents' basement and commute 47 miles to work. She gets to keep right on living. A new relationship with our daughter's best friend's dad. And I get screwed. She was the only woman I ever loved. 16 years. I always put her first. I am beside myself. Edit. I don't know why the thread was locked, but thank you for the people who did comment. Let's look at some of those comments. Representative Aid 27 says, I'm so sorry this is happening to you. I feel your pain. My story is very similar. I adored my wife of 11 years. We had 1, 4, and 7-year-old kids, and she had an affair with a dirtbag older guy who was in his mid-50s. My wife was 36. I did so much for her. Once I saved her life, I moved 650 kilometers away to support her career. I did everything around the house and for the kids, as well as bringing in 70% of our income. I even worked 2 jobs so she could take 3 years maternity leave. I did the pick me dance as well, and she refused to stop the affair. After she moved out, she then trashed my name with everyone we knew and threatened to make up abuse stories about me unless I agreed to her moving our kids 90 minutes drive away to her hometown. She is a criminal lawyer and can play people like a fiddle and cry on demand, so I didn't stand a hope of going to court and arguing against her. She also set the IRS on me to make sure she could get the maximum amount of child support, $1,000 a month, which means I've cut down to only eating once or twice a day, so I have more money to buy my kids food when they stay. I now get the kids 2 out of 3 weekends and 50% of the school holidays. My ex now complains bitterly about only ever having the kids for school and during the week. That's at least the upside to your situation. You will get to spend quality time with them only, and it works massively in your favor in the kids' eyes. They'll see your ex as the nagging, boring parent. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. It makes me feel sick and awful when I hear of those other guys struggling through similar things, when you don't deserve it and didn't ever do anything but love your wife. Just try and take things slowly and one step at a time. Try not to get too bogged down with trying to understand why it happened. Just focus on the fact that you were an awesome partner and didn't let yourself down. If there's anything you had given up after being married and want to try to get back into it again, that's always a good way to take your mind off things and to get some joy back into your life. Strict Pin 5045 says, you'll be alright. This guy is not going to stay with her. He doesn't want to raise kids. He just wants to get laid, and she is too stupid to see it. She will come crawling back to you eventually. Don't take her back. The OP says, I honestly don't think I could take her back at this point. She's been too cruel. We have another reaction from Mr. Big Bull 01. I think you need to watch what happens very closely. If the affair partner moves in with her, then she has a new relation. If this is the case, then spousal support might be dropped. You need to check this with a lawyer. Do not inform her with this info. It sounds strange, but if what I say is true, then it would benefit you if he moves in as quickly as possible. Also, ask for receipts for what she did with the child support. You have the right to know how the money is spent. It should be spent pure for the children and nothing else. You have the right of information. It will drive her crazy to have this done every month. Check with a lawyer if you can deduct money not used last month from the pay next month. The OP says they can't live together until April 23, at least if she follows the divorce agreement. But it's civil in nature. Best I could do is go to court and point out that she isn't honoring it. Maybe a judge would care. Maybe not. This is absolutely heartbreaking, OP. I'm so very sorry you're going through this. In my opinion, the justice system is totally one-sided and often completely unfair in their treatment of the fathers. It takes two to make a child, and the custody of a child should be 50-50 unless it's appropriately provided that one parent isn't fit to parent. I think the way a court favors a mother is a very old way of thinking. You have every right to be beside yourself. She's completely uprooting your life. She definitely knows how to play this gross game with her insight as a criminal lawyer. It's absolutely disgusting. It will be easiest to take it day by day, focusing on yourself and loving your children. It's okay to hurt right now. Let it hurt. Let it all flow out. Feel the feels. But try not to hold on to that hate. Eventually, you will find yourself embracing a new you who will never tolerate less than you deserve. Self-love is key. Lend OP some of your best advice in the comments below. And lastly, a classic cake eater. Why does wayward spouse want to reconcile? Why won't he just give up? I don't understand. He cheated on me. He had an affair and claims they had a connection. 8 months or so after the affair, while trying to make our marriage work, he had to go and see her and get everything off his chest. We moved states to get away from her. Now all he wants is our family, won't ever talk to her again. What the heck gives? Why can't he let me go? If I try to go no contact, he shows up begging and pleading. Our first community comment comes from Rocksittin. He thought you were on his hook. Panics when he realizes you aren't anymore. Classic cake eater. He still feels entitled to continue your relationship even though he'll probably keep screwing it up. Tell him to leave you alone for a year and then you'll consider giving the relationship another chance. And that he would also have to work on himself in that time. Also, don't actually give him another chance. I remember your story from months ago. You were a complete doormat then, and I bet you still have some small sliver of hope for your family to be together. He'll not wait a year. He won't work on himself. He'll have a girlfriend and be back with his affair partner in a few months. Ill-tempered 1978 chimes in. I think for a lot of reasons. 1, I want it all. They want their cake as well. 2, grass is not always greener on the other side. 3, financial consequences, alimony, child support, or even not affording the bills on their own. 4, my favorite, can't let someone else have you. The next reaction from D101711. You want the truth? It's because he sees you as a sure thing. He has no respect for you and knows that you will take him back. To him, you are the sure thing, the safe bet. He is using you as a safety net until he does it again. You are trying to move on and he is getting scared. People like your wayward spouse love to have control over others, OP. They're constantly craving security. That and they weren't happy when they left to find happiness. That's because happiness doesn't exist outside of us. It's internal. We have to first find happiness with ourselves. Why do you think cheaters almost always come back? Thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. Also, please let us know what you thought of today's content. Bye for now.